live. We're live.
Live,
Thank you all
pal.
so much. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. This is Loser Louise Wrestling, the Weekly Wrestle, Volume
Weekly
12.
Wrestle.
Volume 12.
12.
Welcome to the show. This is also Loser Louise Wrestling. I already mentioned. My name is Red. No, I was about to say Hammer. I was about to say Gear Tooth, and I was just like, this is a different show.
You can be Gear Tooth all the time.
No, I'm only Gear Tooth when I'm in a BattleBots head.
But think about if your name was Gear Tooth Red Jefferson and my name was Roy Hammer. There's some.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Yeah. Well, my name is Gear Tooth Red Jefferson. I'm here with Roy Hammer. How you doing, Roy?
I'm good. I was thinking about it. We don't do it as much anymore, but you know how like every time we go live, we say, "Oh, we're live, pal. We're live, pal."
Live, pal.
Do you? That always makes you think, obviously, about that Sid clip where JR says, "We're live, pal." Do you have like a favorite like wrestling blooper that like sticks out to you that you always like go back to? Like if someone's like, "Show me when a wrestler screws up," like what do you show them?
Oh, We're Live, pal is a really great one. Mean Gene Oakland's "Fuck It" is definitely. I think it feels fake. Honestly, feels a little put on. There's a few. My favorite one is Sid Vicious saying like, "I'm half the man that you are, half the man that you are, but I'm half the smarts as you."
I have half the brain that you do.
The brain that you do. It was pretty good.
Have you ever seen the one with Mean Gene where he tells like it's Ric Flair celebrating the Royal Rumble win in 1992, and it's very quick and it's very brief, but he's like, "Ric Flair, how do you feel about the win?" And then I guess someone lit a cigarette behind the camera and he yells, "Put that cigarette out."
Very good. Love that stuff. Hey, welcome to the show, everyone.
Hey, we're here.
To the show. We have a lot of things to cover today.
Yeah,
we're going to cover some news. We're going to cover some Rampage. We're going to have some fun little segments in between. But I did want to talk about a few things real off the bat. Some people that said nice things.
Who said nice things?
Well, our good buddy Rock, he comments on our video. Sometimes Rock's in the chat. Sometimes Rock's not in the chat. But he said some nice comments. He was very impressed by Vincent Kennedy McMahon appearing on the show last week, which was pretty interesting. Actually, I think we had another call-in person. We had someone call in. I haven't listened to it yet, but they seem pretty angry. Let's see what they have to say.
Who's this?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it for the first time.
Hey, Loser Louise Wrestling. This is Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara?
Maybe you know about me. I heard a little birdie tell me that you guys were making fun of me on your podcast. And I gotta tell you, you guys can take a hike with that. Making me sound like an asshole or something.
Wow, that's...
Listen up. You better be careful what you say about me. Because I'm loco. I'm loco crazy. Y'all come out. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. I got a screw loose.
Oh, wow. I don't even want to go into it. It goes on for a while. But Sammy Guevara's pissed off about us last week.
Yeah, Sammy Guevara sounds a lot like Ferris Bueller's best friend's impression of his dad.
Sure. Or the Cowardly Lion. But Sammy Guevara, Chica Marks is in the chat. Sammy, wow, I know it's a big deal. Thank you all so much. Sound off in the chat. Give it up for Chica Marks. Chica Marks, great member of the LLW universe.
Yeah. It's good to know that Sammy's out there listening. Hopefully he can take some advice and, be a better good guy.
Yes. And we also got some nice comments from our new friend Mose. We got Mose.
Mose wants me to blade on the show, and it might happen. Mose wants me to blade on the show, and maybe it's going to happen. Maybe I'm going to get a little.
We're going to have to put warnings on this thing. We can't monetize this if you keep saying things like that. And then we had someone. We got a good correction. We have Louis. Louis commented when we were talking about Penta and what Penta said when he changed character. It's Penta Oscuro, which means Penta Dark. So that's what he said, Penta Oscuro.
I love it.
Very good. And so I just wanted to make sure to cover some just things from the LLW universe that are helping us out. Boy, what do you have first on the agenda, Roy?
We're going to talk about Rampage. The first is always about Rampage. Traditionally, we go through the show, but we're trying to cut down. So what were your highlights? What were your highlights of Rampage?
Highlights for me, definitely. If anyone watched Rampage yesterday, Layla Hirsch, Chris Statlander, promo, was really good. Layla Hirsch, this is the best Layla Hirsch has ever been. Yes. Keep her in backstage segments while she gets comfortable. but Chris Statlander looked like a piece of shit. She made this one comment because like Layla Hirsch was talking about the fact she's just like, do you know how hard my life's been? I was trying to get adopted in Russia. And then Chris Statlander just says something like, she's just like, yeah, if you acted the way you do now, no wonder your parents got rid of you.
God. Is this a double turn or is this just bad?
I wanted to root for Layla after this. Yeah. Chris Statlander seemed like a piece of shit. But you liked this. You thought this was good.
I thought this was great. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I appreciate the storytelling. I like it. And I liked that segment that they did with the chair last week. I liked that too. I thought that was good also. Layla laid it in that segment and it was needed.
Keep it going. We have some comments in the chat. Tony Boom. Welcome, Tony. Then we got Chica Mark saying, I have to head out, but looking forward to the recording. Don't blade without me. We're not.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to wait another week.
We have to stop suggesting it. We're gonna get cut. There was that. Another highlight for me. Not a highlight, but it's a better use. Danhausen.
Oh, that's one of my highlights too.
Honestly, if this is what they're gonna do with Danhausen, have him be a gremlin underneath the ring, I like it. This is the way to use him. Make him this mystical guy that kind of just pops out of places. You liked it as well. This is much better than the valet.
There are so many things that I liked about this in the sense that, he comes out from under the ring. That's fine. Whatever. It's all good. But what I liked is that, yes, he came out from under the ring, did his little shtick and literally waved at the audience and left. He shouldn't be associated with the best friends. Or I like that he calls them the good friends. I think that's very funny. Especially he shouldn't be associated with a loss right now. Like he shouldn't be associated with a beatdown, a loss, any of that. He does his thing. He tries to help. When it doesn't work, he leaves. Bye-bye. And he shouldn't just be doing that for best friends matches. He should be there all the time.
He should just constantly be cursing people and popping out in places you don't expect.
Yeah.
And for him to be, that would be a fun time. I think
he should be. You know, I keep pitching the Butcher and the Blade as the APA who accept cryptocurrency. He should be accepting cryptocurrency as a distraction. He's always under the ring for different matches. Like,
he's
he's all about money, though. Doesn't he actively always talk about how he will give me all the money?
He does want to get money. He does want to
get
money.
Give me all the Dogecoin. I don't know.
Very interesting. Very interesting take. I also had an interesting take on Rampage watching Hook, right? Watching Hook. You know who needs to watch Hook? Because Hook is doing it better than them right now?
Who?
Wardlow. Wardlow needs to watch Hook and see how to get over. Don't taunt to the crowd. Just be fucking cool. Yeah. Just do your thing. Be cool. Walk in and out. People like seeing ass kickers. They don't like seeing ass kickers that want people to see them as ass kickers.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I was thinking about it in that Hook match. I know we had talked about his punches a couple of weeks ago, but I'm starting to like him too.
No, like he's just gotten better at them. I think.
Yeah,
like those. But now those punches are connecting. Those forearms to the face, those cross arms.
Yeah,
really nasty looking. Mm-hmm. Like he was laying them in there.
I have to assume that this is leading to, because he's never wrestled on Dynamite. He's only wrestled on Rampage. He's only wrestled on taped shows, so he's never had a live match. I think. No, that might not be true. But either way. I think
maybe a live Rampage, maybe.
Yeah, I think the one live Rampage that they've done. I think this is leading to him versus QT as his first ever Dynamite match.
Honestly, this may be me. I like the idea of them keeping him on Rampage. Like it gives me a reason to watch Rampage. It makes me excited about Rampage. Let's have some people just kind of on one show or the other. Oh, I forgot to mention very big news on the hotline. Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. You better check out the hotline.
It's a toll-free
number, the LLW hotline, 201-574-7222. One more time, 201-574-7222.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the hotline news? Or have you gotten?
I didn't. I blew it. I'm going to.
No, it's okay because one of what it's really informative. I had no idea. Tony writes, "Give me Danhausen versus MJF one day, Tony, but not tomorrow." Not soon, right? No, let's not do that.
No.
Let's not give Danhausen an immediate loss.
Yeah.
And also it'd be weird without a build-up. Llama Lad, Hook on Rampage instantly makes it a great show. Dude is a star. You're damn right, Llama Lad. Thank you so much for joining.
Llama Lad in the house.
Llama Lad. But yeah, it makes Rampage a more exciting show. The fact that he's a Rampage exclusive.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Yeah. All right. That's fair.
I want things to look forward to on this show.
Of course.
And another thing I thought of, what did you like from Rampage? Sorry, I didn't ask you. Look at me.
And I know you probably disagree with me on this, but the work rate of the first match I really enjoyed. I like the Young Bucks are working differently now, and I think it's because based on just pure speculation. I have nothing to back this up whatsoever. I just think Matt Jackson is starting to feel it a little bit more, so he's trying to pick his spots a little bit. I think the younger Jackson, Nick, is picking up the slack a little bit. But the Wrestling Smarter, I also really liked, and this is a small thing that I really, really liked. Okay, so Thunder Rosa runs out and starts beating up Britt Baker. And then here comes, I'm forgetting her name right now, Mercedes Martinez and
Jamie Hayter.
And Jamie Hayter comes out first and beats up Thunder Rosa, but then Mercedes Martinez kind of throws her off and they start getting in each other's faces. Just that little sample, a little book that there is really, really good because it sets up, obviously Thunder Rosa is going to beat Mercedes Martinez, setting up probably Rosa versus Baker at the pay-per-view. Hopefully there's a title change there. Not that there's anything wrong with Baker's title reign. I just think it's Thunder Rosa's time. But then that gives Mercedes Martinez, your new signee, your new free agent signee, another feud to go into afterwards, rather than just disappearing off the face of the earth. That also keeps Jamie Hayter warm because she'll probably take down Mercedes Martinez at some point, leading to Hayter versus Baker down the line, giving Baker something to do post losing the title as well. So I like these little things that they're doing that they don't normally do, especially with the women.
I'm glad that they're booking Mercedes Martinez better than they booked Jay Lethal. Honestly, what you said, have them bring in, if they're going to get a loss, make it mean something. It's a disqualification when she got in, and to set up another match. Yeah. There's a lot of,
and that's going to be a knockdown drag out on Wednesday. That no DQ match is going to be something to see. I assume, I think it's going to be a brutal match, which is great, but also it's kind of it'd be great if there wasn't a brutal match with a lot of blood on last week's Dynamite as well. I love blood, but we got to make it special,
Yeah, we got to make it special. And one other thing I wanted to mention, Ass Boys, honestly, remind me of a Young Edge and Christian.
Whoa.
Yeah, they fight well. They're funny when they need to be, but serious when they got to be.
Yeah.
And also, I wanted them to win. I was watching that, and when they got that belt shot, I was just like, "Oh, the Ass Boys win right now." What a fucking cool ass thing. What did you think of that match?
I do think the Ass Boys have become a very good heel tag team, which is pretty incredible. I do think Austin is the superstar and Colton is fine.
He's getting there. He's young.
Yeah. I also, did you notice that Austin has a giant portrait of John Wayne tattooed on his arm? It's weird. I was very distracted by that.
Very gross.
But I thought that was a good match. I thought it was a good tag team match. I found that match to be more entertaining than Jurassic Express's previous title defenses against Private Party and whoever else they did. I think it was that other tag team. What's the name of that tag team? I just lost. The Acclaimed.
Yeah, the Acclaimed. Yeah, good point. Moving on. Any other Rampage thoughts, Roy? Any other Rampage?
Next week's show is going to be really good. It looks really good. There's some good matches already booked for it. And the next week's Dynamite got thicker too with Lee Moriarty and Bryan Danielson, which is going to be really, really exciting.
Really exciting. Wow.
Yeah. Do you want to take a second?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Hey, I think it's time for the news, right?
I think it's time for the news, pal.
Woo! Tam, get us with that first pick. Wow, this is the news from February 6th to February 12th. Let's start off hot. Let's start off with some real good news here. Keith Lee is all elite. Yeah. Keith Lee is officially all elite. We found this out on Wednesday and this past Dynamite. Released by WWE for no reason. The Bearcat was released, and Isaiah Cassidy was his first match in. He was surprised to qualify for the Face of the Revolution match. This is great news, right?
This is fantastic news. This is really good news. I did the rounds. I did the wrestling journalist rounds post Keith Lee's debut to hear what everybody kind of thought about it, and the consensus seems to be that he's bigger than he's ever been. So maybe he would benefit from dropping a few LBs, but I thought he looked pretty good overall. But I think he could drop some weight to speed up his,
I think he understood that. He even said in a tweet, just like, got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And you could even see right after he caught, I think it was Mark Quinn, when he caught him for that flip over, and then he powerbound on the thing. He leans against the thing and he is gassed. he's just like, he's trying to look cool and he's smart for doing this, just looking like he's kind of like relaxing after good, but he is, dude is.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it, man. This guy's like 360. He's 37 years old, has barely wrestled in the last like a year and a half, had COVID that got to his heart. This guy's been through it. So I'm very, very excited. I hope he's healthy. I hope he can start grinding and just have another few years of like prime time.
100%. Let us know what you think of that. But one thing that recently happened with him, he got married to Mia Yim. Mia Yim, beautiful. And their officiant for the wedding was none other than the hardcore legend himself, Mick Foley.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Which is pretty great. Yeah. Pretty great stuff. And we all feel happy for that, right, Roy? Would you want Mick Foley to officiate your wedding?
Absolutely.
It wouldn't cause disruption in the Hammer household?
No, I don't think so. I think it would be okay.
The elder Hammers would be like totally chill.
The other Hammers, I think my brothers would be like, whoa, they're jealous. Mick Foley's here? Jealous. Are you kidding? Come on.
That's pretty cool.
Mia Yim, by the way, belongs in AEW.
Yes.
And she was part of the funniest moment I've ever seen at an indie wrestling show, where she was fighting someone in the middle of the ring and it was silent. And she was going from one corner to the other. And as she was running, someone said, "Go get her, Mia." And she said, "Thank you." And then hit a forearm. That was fantastic. I've always thought of that. Mia Yim.
That's great. Good. She's great. We're hoping that she goes to AEW. Honestly, I think they'd be great as a pair, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Next slide there, Tam. We got Tony Khan. Forgot what the forbidden door meant. He definitely forgot what that term was that he coined and popularized. He thought it meant anyone he brought in as the forbidden door, but no, it has to be for people that are with another company. From your thing, you specifically said it. He kind of forgot midway through that was the issue. That was the case. And so he, when he signed Keith Lee, he's just like, "Oh, that guy's not forbidden door." Immediately contacts Jay White on Sunday. He's just like, "You want to come in? So I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar." And that's why we have Jay White. What are your thoughts on this? Is the forbidden door already dumb?
No, I don't think the forbidden door is necessarily dumb. You know, what's funny is, again, like doing the rounds and listening to these different shows, you find out that the term forbidden door, that I don't want to say Tony Khan stole it, because I don't know if he necessarily stole it, but Japanese legend, superstar Tanahashi, when talking about fighting Chris Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom, had stated in a promo leading up to his match against Chris Jericho 2 years ago, he was like, "I want someone to cross through the forbidden door and fight me." And it was Chris Jericho. So he was the first person to ever say forbidden door. And then
he may have been the first person to say it, but like, I don't think Chris Jericho wasn't with another company when he made those.
He was with AEW.
When he first did the Wrestle Kingdom, he was Wrestle Kingdom first.
He was, yeah. So Kenny Omega and him fought at Wrestle Kingdom, and then AEW started. And then once AEW started, no one crossed over for a period of time, like 4 months or 6 months or something. And then Tanahashi cut a promo leading into Wrestle Kingdom saying, like, because the whole thing was like the Bucks and Kenny left New Japan, and it pissed off New Japan because they were thinking like, "Oh, you're going to go start a rinky-dink promotion that's going to crash and burn and make us look bad." So there was that like heat. And Tanahashi was like, "Hey, I want to fight Chris Jericho. Cross through the forbidden door, Chris Jericho." And then Tony Khan was like, "That sounds good. I'm going to start using forbidden door."
That's fair. Well, let's hope he uses it more appropriately next time. Tony writes, they need to let Jay White talk. He's so good on that mic. Have you seen Jay White talk a little bit? What are your thoughts on him?
He is good.
Is he an Adam Cole?
I would say he's not. I think they could like go back and forth well. Yeah, I think he's a good promo guy.
I think that Jay White looks like if Pac and Adam Cole had a baby. Out comes Jay White.
Do you feel like Adam Cole is like upper echelon? I didn't want to say.
Yeah, I think he's top. I think he's a top tier talker.
Okay.
I definitely think he's up in that. I don't think he's the best talker, but he's definitely in the people like, "Oh, I definitely trust."
Yeah.
Like there's no doubt trust with that mic. Thank you so much for commenting, Tony. We love those questions or statements. We love statements. But also something with Tony Khan, contracts are coming up. Finally, they're coming up after he started signing people to 3-year deals. They're starting to come up, and he's already said he's just like, I'm not gonna renew all of them.
Well, a couple of people already gone.
Yeah, like who are we? Who's gone now?
Well, Marco Stunt is gone.
Yeah, I don't think he's officially. I think his contract comes up.
His contract is not going to be renewed, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who else? What do you got? What's
no, but like Cage? No scoop.
Oh,
no scoops.
yeah.
It's just the fact that like he said like I'm going to start cutting the fat. There's
when did he say that?
He didn't say cutting the fat, but he's just like he just recently in an interview he was saying the fact that like contracts coming up and I wanted to keep people throughout COVID so they had a place to work, but you know it's not going to be the case the next up. So and it's understandable. You can't spend money forever.
Well, that you totally, but also like the indies are coming back. You know, people are really like a lot of these bigger indie promotions who run bigger shows are starting to run shows more consistently. There's going to be more places for people to work. And I think honestly, like someone like Brian Cage, right? I guess he's the example I can use. He won't be affected. And a lot of these guys who've been on AEW television, their spots in indie promotions and on the indie scene in general shouldn't be affected by like Oni Lorcan coming back and Shane Strickland coming back. Cause these guys have street cred. They have television exposure. So like, I think just by being on AEW television for X amount of years or whatever, that will, you know, position these people well to continue to make a good living on the indie scene or a living. I don't know if good, I don't know, you know.
I'm curious if anyone has any insider info on how the financials of some of these companies or just how much these guys are making on not necessarily GCW show, but like a new, like, what is it, New Jersey? Oh, Wrestle Pro or something like that. Yeah. Tony says they can let go 15 easy. I think they could let go of a few more than 15. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope they keep all the wingmen. Besides Cesar Bonini, he could go.
Well, come on, that guy's okay.
Actually, I think I like him as a person, but as a wrestler, the thing is, like, that guy needs some reps.
He needs some reps.
He needs some reps. But I love him as physically. Physically, he looks like Razor Ramon.
It's such an interesting thing to think about AEW because we just forget that it's a long-term thing. You know, it's supposed to be built to be a long-term promotion. Like it's going to be around forever. In a way, you know, like I keep thinking of AEW as like, you know, my default stance is like it's only been around for a few years, so they got to like really go for it. Like a guy like Cesar Bononi can leave, go to the indies, work some indies.
I think that would honestly be best. I think that would honestly be best because us seeing his screw ups now hurt him. You know, that's why, you know, historically WWE doesn't put people on TV unless they're ready because you don't want them to look like idiots wrestling. They make them look like idiots as like characters, but wrestling, they don't want them to be doing stupid mistakes that ruin them forever, you know? Wrestling wise.
I'm talking about, until now.
But they don't let them do stupid things in the ring. Like stupid things in the ring, meaning like, do something they're not capable of doing or do something that they're not trained enough to do. Yeah, they'll make them do stupid character stuff.
No, I'm just saying NXT 2.0 is full of like wrestlers who don't know how to wrestle.
NXT 2.0 does not count.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Llama Lad says, did y'all see Joey Janela's comments on his contract coming up in a few months? Did you see anything about that?
I think he just said, I don't know what's going on. I had heard a couple of different things. I had heard that the intention was to renew his contract. And then Joey Janela also said he has no idea what's going on. So I wouldn't be surprised either way, honestly, if he stays or goes.
Honestly, I think he's someone that they should keep, but who knows? But if Llama Lad, if we miss something,
be on television more.
If we miss something, Llama Lad, let us know. Tony says Bonini has done GCW shows. Mm-hmm. Good. That's good. And I guess AEW is not keeping them under lock and key, so we'll see. Moving on to the news. Could you hit the next slide, Tam? Eddie Kingston returning soon. There's some clarity on what his injury was. So he was dealing with shoulder stuff, but apparently he had an orbital eye injury. And apparently on the indies, like he's had this happen before, and he just cut himself so that like lets out some pus or some shit, and they just keep going. But he's definitely being taken care of now. And he's going to be brought back at a more reasonable condition. But we're excited for this, right? We want to see him versus Jericho.
Yeah, definitely. You ever see Rocky?
Yeah.
You know that scene in Rocky? Cut me, Mick. cut me.
How does he sound? I forget. Like,
cut me, man. Yeah. We should do the
that
rest
sounds
of the
like
show.
Sammy Guevara.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God. It's time. It's time to get him included in this feud. I think hopefully he comes back next week and gets involved in that tag match.
Yeah, 100%. That sounds good. Honestly, what I was thinking of would be a great follow-up feud after Jericho, because I think he should win with Jericho. You know, would be good.
Who?
Hangman Page.
Yeah.
Give him a spot in there and have him just. I think he should go for another run.
This
honestly,
is controversial, but you've brought up a really good point, and it's riling me up. I think Eddie should beat Hangman, and then MJF should beat Eddie, because yes, you'll get great heat if you beat Hangman, but you'll get molten heat if you beat the working class hero, Eddie Kingston.
Does MJF need more heat? One, it would be interesting, but to spin it around a little bit, if MJF beat Hangman and then Eddie goes after MJF.
God. Yeah.
And then you have this Eddie versus MJF, and MJF's just like, you're a garbage wrestler that looks like shit. And he's just like, like I could just imagine the back and forth for the title for them. Yeah. And then you have Eddie win.
Yeah, you have Eddie win. Yeah, because you can honestly put the belt on MJF for like 60 days and then take it off of him, and it wouldn't make a difference.
100%.
And then put the title back on him, take it off of him. Like,
love it. Joe writes, let Janela go. Far better that they aren't using. Honestly, like, if they're not going to use him well, I agree. But like, I think he's got a lot of legs in him. Like, maybe not at the moment. Let him do something in GCW. Either way, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Joe writes, please never give Kingston the title. Yeah. What's your deal?
Joe.
Let us know your deal, Joe.
Yeah.
Why do just please describe why you're so anti-Kingston? I'm curious. I'm generally unless you think that he doesn't need the title, which is also a fair statement, because I don't think he needs the title. I think he's over without it, easy.
Yeah, definitely.
And he could do a lot of things without it. But I'm curious as to your take.
There's just a story there. There's an amazing story there.
Amazing story to be had. Very true, Roy. Very true. Next up, we're going to get the next slide here, Tam. But I should have switched these, but Briscoes have a mention for Tony Khan. They're saying, shit or get off the pot. Apparently they're pretty bummed because they've been trying to like get this thing with FTR started. Apparently at a past show, the FTR beat them up, and they were trying to get this going. Get this thing rolling because there's money here. And honestly, the Briscoes in AEW make a lot of sense, and we want to see that. What's causing the holdup? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's some type of weirdness around. So they are the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. I think forever and always they're going to stay loyal to Ring of Honor. So when Ring of Honor is running these like essentially super indies, when they come back in April and moving forward, they're running monthly shows. The Briscoes are always going to want to be involved in that shows or those shows. And I'm sure Tony Khan, if he wants to give them a contract, he's going to want them to be exclusive to AEW, and that's going to be an issue. So I think there's a lot of a give and take back and forth. I could imagine though, right now, I'm just going to assume that FTR and the Briscoes are going to fight each other at this like relaunch of Ring of Honor show WrestleMania weekend. That's my assumption. But
that's actually pretty good. That's a great bet.
And I think they should win. And I think FTR, you gotta, first of all, you're not doing a lot with them right now. They're just like a heater tag team. So you should be working out deals with every company in the world and allowing FTR to go there and win every tag team title in the entire world and show up on your television screen with the Ring of Honor tag titles, Impact tag team titles, New Japan, like everywhere.
Have Tully pulling a little red wagon filled with their titles.
Like remember when Ultimo Dragon in WCW won like 19 titles? Yes, that should be FTR.
100%. Joe writes in reference to Kingston, not a good wrestler, way overrated on the mic. Joe, we're gonna have to disagree here. The thing is, like, is he a classic wrestler? Like, I think what's great about Eddie Kingston as a wrestler, because he wrestles differently than anyone else in wrestling today. Because he's spent so many years, he's hurt his body. He wrestles like a wrestler from the 70s. And that's what I kind of like about it.
That's his style.
Like, it's not crisp. It's not clean. It's kind of messy, but it's also very emotional, very hard hitting at times. I think and overrated on the mic. you gotta disagree. You gotta disagree with that.
Joe, I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same person.
He knows.
I think you're thinking of Sammy Guevara. But
yeah, you think, that's fair.
Realistically.
Be careful
It's
with
Eddie
messages again. Llama Lad says, it's amazing how Kingston has quickly become one of my favorite wrestlers. He's so real. Exactly. That's where I disagree. Yeah. I don't think he's real. I think he's a little phony baloney. Yonkers. Joe writes, way overrated.
Partner.
Then Tony says, I don't know. To me, Briscoes are fit for GCW.
They are very good in GCW.
I don't think they should not be at GCW.
No, they should be everywhere.
I just think they should be everywhere. I think they're like a Bruiser Brody tag team.
Yeah, they are. They are. They elevate GCW. I can verify, as seeing a GCW show live, they just elevate the entire card. Their matches, their presence, how they wrestle, everything they do is really incredible.
Yeah. Joe then writes, he just, in reference to Eddie Kingston, he just yells all the time, in my opinion. Very incoherent at times. I give him credit for being unique, but to me, it's that's fine. But I will say, though, the yelling all the time, yes, it's annoying when he's on commentary. He's a bad commentator. And honestly, it's annoying when he interrupts people when they're trying to get a point across. I'm just like, let them do their thing too, so they could build together. Let it be a team effort. He is like when he's on the mic, totally into business for himself. Yeah,
I just love when he does Jericho. So that's all I'm thinking about.
Let's have him interrupt Jericho.
I'm sure Santana and Ortiz called Eddie Kingston before Wednesday, and they're like, "We got this promo with Jericho in the ring. Like, what do you think?" And he's like, "When Jericho tries to get the last line in, look at the camera and make fun of him. That's gonna go over really well. Do that,
dirty dog." But if you want to hear more about wrestlers and how they train and get better, check out the Hotline. Really interesting news about how the Young Bucks trained. Really interesting news about the Young Bucks history. John Busman says, "Them boys." John Busman, their crowd. Bless you. He writes, Kingston has what can't be taught. It's about connection. That's true.
True.
There's definitely there's just a unique quality to him. And I get if he's not your cup of tea, but he's definitely like, you watch what he does. Like, you can't he's not someone you skip their stuff. You don't know what he's going to do next.
I've said this before on the show, and we've talked about it, and I stole it from somewhere else, so I can't take credit for this. But like Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, but Eddie Kingston is what is part of redefining masculinity for professional wrestling fans. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be tough, but real and emotional. Like, it's just, he's connected. I'm done. I'm out of here.
But Joe writes, that's the point. Doesn't seem like he works with talent, all about himself. I will say the best wrestlers ever are selfish. Do you think Stone Cold was thinking about his opponent, how they look after the match? No, he's about like, I gotta be Stone Cold, all the Stone Cold goddamn time.
As long as he gets his shit in.
Make you look like a piece of shit.
Even listen to it's Jeff Jarrett.
Like the best wrestlers, most popular wrestlers, they think about them putting themselves over first. And then
it's a dance.
It's a dance, but it's definitely, you have to be selfish sometimes. That's why Hook is doing better than Wardlow. That's why Hook is better, because Hook knows how to be selfish, but also knows how to like do the right thing for himself because he's being selfish. Wardlow fucking sells like a knee, like it gets kicked once in the knee. He's just like, oh, you have to be selfish.
Well, he's also like, Hook is connecting and being selfish because Taz taught him how to be selfish.
Taz taught him how to be selfish.
Pretty selfish wrestler in a good way.
In a good way.
In a really good way.
Yeah, bless them both. Moving on, we got to get out of here because very big news. Next slide there, Tam. Nick Gage is all game changing.
That's good. That's good.
Big news. Nick Gage has signed an exclusive deal with GCW Wrestling. And when I first read this, I was just like, yeah, they want to take him off the market. Like, I don't know. Like, I was curious as to what the purpose was. But then, what's his name? Brett Lauderdale actually gave a really sweet, it was a really honest to goodness good thing. Brett Lauderdale signed him to a contract so that Nick Gage could be more comfortable, not have to wrestle so often. He's like the face of GCW, and he wants to make sure he's taken care of. And I thought that was really noble. And honestly, good for Nick Gage. He's worked hard. He's definitely worked hard. Whether I care about his wrestling right now or not is whatever, but he definitely has worked hard. And this is a nice thing for him, right, Roy?
100%. He deserves it. He's the face of GCW. He always has been. he's just been there from the very beginning. I mean, Brett Lauderdale opened this promotion and visited him in jail, and he said, "Hey, I'm starting this promotion, and when you get out, you're it. It's happening." I mean, they literally have a tournament every year called the Nick Gage Invitational. Like, it exists because of him. So yeah, it's nice to see this dude take care of his dude.
It's really positive. And I heard the news actually just recently that he's going to be inducted into the GCW Hall of Fame, which is really exciting.
You're such an asshole.
But no, I know, because he deserves it. He really deserves it. When people deserve something, they get it. They should get it. Very, very interesting point, Red. Joe writes, Hook is God. Hook is God. Can't dispute that there.
I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to get my point across to you. I'm going to get you to agree with me that the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame is valid.
I wasn't even talking about the Hall of Fame. I'm talking about the GCW Hall of Fame.
Oh, you don't say. Oh, okay. Whatever.
We got Tony in the chat. Tony says Nick Gage is the last of the original deathmatch guys.
He really is. Yeah.
Right. I think the original deathmatch guys are already dead.
That's what he's saying.
No, but I'm saying that I meant there's a generation before him with deathmatch wrestling. Like Abdullah the Butcher is one of the original deathmatch wrestlers.
All right.
Nick Gage is
Is that Jeff
generation.
Jarrett over there? Is that the last real outlaw?
Shut the fuck up.
I can't see.
Llama Lad says not really into death matches, but I love Nick Gage.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
If you're ever feeling down, if you're ever having a tough day, you just go and watch some of Nick Gage's cameos. They're the best.
Sure.
Him hyping up
lives with a rusty nail clipper.
All he does is hype up 3-year-olds to go potty train.
Yeah. Oh,
it's great. It's the best.
Joe Redlitz writes, all Hall of Fames not based on audience vote are BS. I don't know if I agree audience vote. I prefer Cauliflower Alley, where it's a group of wrestlers that have been inducted that then get to vote. That you're a member of the Cauliflower Alley. That is the one. One. And I'll take the audience-based PWI one as well.
That's the Wrestling Observer does like an audience-based subscriber. Yeah, that's pretty legit.
And then all other ones are cute. And that's what we'll leave it off. We got to move on. And you mentioned him just a second ago,
we're going to do breaking news. We're going to do a Thursday night special show after Talking Bots, where all I do is try to convince you that the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame is legitimate and important.
Very interesting. You bring up Talking Bots. That's every Thursday, right after Battle Bots.
Big time.
Where Gear Tooth Red Jefferson talks bots. But you shouldn't just wait for us there. You should call the hotline. 201-574-7222. It's big news this week. Big freaking news. Yes, peers too, I guess, but ones like WWE's are total BS. Agreed. Yeah, WWE's Hall of Fame is BS, as most are. But you mentioned him a moment ago, Roy, about the last outlaw.
Yeah.
King of the Death Match, Jeff Jarrett. Next slide there, Tim. Jeff Jarrett is the official ambassador for NWA Crockett Cup. It's starting, Roy.
It's starting. Here we go.
The Conrad Jeff Jarrett takeover, the NWA, is all afoot, and we're gonna watch it. Does this mean anything? Does this mean absolutely anything?
Who knows? Maybe it does. I was watching NWA like USA or something, like NWA Power USA or something, because I was curious because it's like their lightweight show. This is a quick aside, and I highly recommend everyone go out of the way and watch it. And Raven was a guest commentator on this show, and it was like, that guy Joe, whatever, like the nerdy white guy who does all the commentary for NWA.
Kind of.
Sure. It was him. It was a former TNA women's wrestler whose name I can't remember right now, and Raven in the middle. And the guy is like, "Oh, Raven, how does it feel to be here?" And people are clapping and cheering, and he just goes, "These people smell." That's all he said.
I nailed him.
So go out of your way to watch that. It's really weird. Raven's commentary is really weird.
That's actually, that sounds great. Lamalad has a really interesting comment here. Can we get an LLW Hall of Fame? Honestly, I think that's what we should rename the championship. We have people induct them in the Hall of Fame that week. And some people are the 5-time inducted Hall of Famer.
The LLW Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame sounds
honestly,
good.
I think that's really good. Oh, sure, add whatever you want in there. Independent wrestling, let's make it as cute as possible. Let's make it as widespread as possible. Let's make it a big net. A big net.
Big
capture
net.
everyone.
Yeah, the fattest, biggest net.
You know what they should do? They should make a Hall of Fame for everyone. Like just a Hall of Fame where we put everyone in. What we should do, take a roster, call it Hall of Fame Wrestling Association, and just have everyone in it. Don't close your lid on me. Don't close your lid on me.
Trash.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Well, the next slide there, Tam. We had to talk about WWE. Usually we start off with a lot of WWE news. WWE news is light this week.
Yeah, it's light.
But we do have Shane McMahon is still working for WWE. He's not. Well, he's not.
I'm outraged. When they said he was fired, he should be fired. God damn it.
You think that he should have been picked up by Tony Khan?
No.
You don't think he should be picked up? You like this picture of him?
I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't been pulled up yet.
It's pretty good. But yeah, he's still with WWE. He's doing their international stuff, and so he's still a part of the world, the company world.
Yeah.
But you don't see him ever jumping ship to a different company.
No. And Triple H and him hate each other. So I don't know if they hate each other. Who knows? But my only feeling is they should go start their own promotion. You know, Triple H and Shane McMahon present.
They hate each other with a passion.
Is that true?
Yeah. That's the reason why Shane left in the first place is because of Triple H.
I thought he got passed over for Stephanie.
He got passed over for Stephanie and Triple H, and he's always been very resentful of both of them.
But he loves Stephanie. They have a good relationship.
And Triple H, and apparently Shane was very upset when they first started dating, because he's just like, no, you don't date a wrestler like that. Like that was already made known. Yeah. But we have some comments here. Tony suggests the Light Tube Awards. Very good name. I'm not mad at it. That's really good.
That's really good.
And Joe says, I would pay for a really intense hardcore wrestler to shame my kids and to potty training. Not sure who though. Nick Gage is available.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. And he just says stuff like, hey, little kid, don't take shit. Go shit on the potty. He says stuff like that. It's great.
Get Jim Cornette to do it. Like, what are you doing, you little shit? Why are you being a little shit on the toilet? You're making yourself look like a goddamn fool. Pay to bliss. Whatever it says.
I fell asleep the other night watching on YouTube. I fell asleep watching a Smoky Mountain show because they have every Smoky Mountain show ever is on YouTube. You just got to find them. And then I woke up to like a video version of one of Jim Cornette's podcasts. And they were talking about Stephanie McMahon, and I was very confused, and I was so disoriented. And my dog was pawing at my face. It was too much.
That's a lot. That's a lot of stimuli.
Yeah,
not fair. But some other news, if you could hit that next slide there, Tam. NXT is using new production technique. This is actually very interesting.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this?
I did hear about that. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
So they're they've already started doing it at some NXT tapings. They had a camera person inside the ring while the match was going on. And so I just thought that was very interesting that they're doing something like that. I do hate it. I do hate it very much. Mostly because like the thing is like, it's no longer a show for the crowd.
Right.
They've totally taken away the show for the crowd aspect. And I like, why would I ever want to go to a WWE show ever again?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts
Especially
on it?
At an NXT show? Yeah, I don't love it. Do you remember, did you ever watch any of the XFL, like the original XFL? Do you remember that the cameraman that was like on the field during plays? This is what this reminds me of. Like, oh, this is going to be innovative. And the guy that like,
when he runs into the huddle.
Yeah, he like wore a big helmet and he just was like, it constantly in harm's way. It kind of feels that way again. Like they're trying to do something different. That sucks. Yeah, I think it sucks. I haven't seen it. So I'm going to reserve full judgment until I see it. But my first piece of judgment is that it sucks. So I guess we'll find out. I think speaking to your point about the audience, I think just WWE hates all of their audiences. They just hate everybody. Like even the
live crowd is a nuisance. They cover them up with noise. You know, they control every aspect of their viewing, and they don't even care what you see when you're there anymore. They don't need your cheers. They don't need your cheers. They don't need your reaction. You are literally a backdrop.
Yeah.
For the audience.
The NXT 2.0 audience, you would think, has to be the most diehard of diehard WWE fans because they're sitting through that product. But even that audience, like when Walter changed his name to Gunther, he came out for his first match and the crowd chanted Walter at him. Like, no one's really on board. So, like, I guess they're like, well, fuck it. The audience doesn't really care. Then we won't care about them and we'll just stick a camera in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because I remember going to WWE shows in the early 2000s, like 2006 to 7, we went to a couple, and there were fun times just because I felt like I cared a little bit more, but who knows? Joe writes, in terms of the cameos, Vince would be good. We all know how he feels about sneezing. Would love his thoughts on the potty. Hey, pal, is money take shit or you're fired? You're fired. Very fun stuff. Does NXT have any direction anymore? It seems like haphazard moves, no logic or direction. NXT is a training ground more so than ever now, right? It's just that's what it is. So they're figuring it out as they go.
Yeah.
They're figuring
there
out
was an interview. I don't know if this is in your news, but Kyle O'Reilly was on Renee Paquette's podcast. Is this in your? Are you referencing this at all?
No, Kyle O'Reilly has never been in my news.
Well, I don't know. I thought maybe you would.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm being mean to him.
He basically says, like, I could have stayed with the WWE, but I recognized that I didn't want to become a trainer. Like, they would have probably given me a spot on television, but ultimately I was just going to be there to be a trainer and to like help young guys become better wrestlers. And I still have a lot of gas in the tank and I want to go wrestle.
He's young. He's what, 34, 33?
Yeah.
Like
he's Adam Cole's age.
Yeah, whatever Adam Cole is. But yeah, very good point. Very interesting. I did not have that in my news. I have very little interviews in my news. Yeah. I like the hard facts.
Hard facts.
Alama Lad says, why would I ever go to a WWE show again? I've been thinking that for years, Red. It's really unfortunate. It's because there's people I want to see there.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that I like in WWE that like I just don't trust I'm going to have a fun time. I went to a show 2-3 years ago. I went to a Raw.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you went to a Raw, not you, but you enjoyed it. You were right up front.
I was sitting front row.
Yeah. I wasn't too far back. I went like 2 years after you did when they had the pausing during commercial breaks.
Terrible.
When they had a match and when they went to commercial break, they took a breather. They just literally stopped. They literally stopped, turned out the lights, and then they went to their corners and just waited.
Is that true? So I never knew that was the situation.
They
just
was that bad. Waited, and then
it was just like a rest hold.
No, they stopped the match completely and they restarted. And I'm just like, do you even care? I was with people that weren't wrestling fans that were like, I hyped them up to go to wrestling shows. Like, oh, it's kind of weird on TV, but like, it's real great live. It's just an energy. It's like a football, anything you go to live. And I went there and just like, man, was I deflated.
Yeah.
Deflated.
Well, the other thing too, and like we grew up, you grew up watching Royal Rumbles, you grew up watching WrestleMania. It's the spectacle. It's so fantastic. What really burst my bubble was when we went to a Royal Rumble and a WrestleMania and they were both bogus. Like, it wasn't fun. Yeah. We were so far away and none of the wrestling was that good. And nobody super cares. Like, no, the audience that far away also doesn't care. And you just you still spend $70 to sit in the last row of the Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
It was cool. You do it for the energy and the audience, but even the energy was dead.
The energy was dead.
The energy was dead because everyone's deflated and they don't care. John Buseman writes, no wonder they won't hire wrestlers anymore. Just train people up from nothing and teach them to fit in the puzzle place.
Yeah.
Oh, puzzle piece. I thought the puzzle place. You remember the puzzle place? The puzzle place. The puzzle place. We're going to the puzzle place. Susie and the Peace Police are on the beat. Joe writes, they turned out the lights. Good God, way to kill a crowd. Surprised they didn't boo them out of the building when TV came back. I remember specifically was Cesaro versus The Miz. And I remember Cesaro just being so frustrated. Yeah. Just being so disheartened. Yeah. But we got to keep going. We got to keep getting out of here.
Rolling.
And also NXT's record low viewership down to 400,000.
Well, they were on Sci-Fi. They were on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, they were on Sci-Fi. Next slide there, Tam. WWE is now exploring the metaverse, according to Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon said in a recent thing that they're looking for any ways to connect and interact with their fans. And Roy, when are we getting on the metaverse and why aren't we there yet?
I got to kind of understand what the metaverse is first, but we're going to make
it's right here. I have a picture of the metaverse right here.
I'm waiting
Stephanie
for
McMahon in the metaverse.
LLW NFTs coming soon.
Yeah. Oh, well, honestly, I just want to get it.
Anytime you use video game content, I'm all for it.
She's lost her feet. She's lost her feet. She just absorbed right into the mat. Stephanie McMahon in the metaverse. This is her talking to the fans in a match. Joe writes, WWE is a pre-K show now. Very good point. But like, what is the metaverse going to look like? I'm still trying to figure out the metaverse, but the idea of wrestling in the metaverse, I think we have to get on that. I think we do.
I think we have to spearhead this.
If Chris Warner ever gets back to me.
He said he was going to call you this week.
Oh, did he? Didn't respond to a text.
He was like, he said to me, he was like, I take it you talked to Red recently. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, he asked me about NFTs.
Don't say that here. We'll get canceled. We can't let them know I said that. Can't let them know. But be on the lookout for NFTs. Moving on. We had to get out of here. We got a next slide there, Tam. Sad news. AWA Women's Champion Candy Devine passes away at 63 years old. She had feuds with Sensational Sherry and Medusa. Very popular in her time. I wasn't terribly familiar. How familiar? Do you have any familiarity?
I only know her from knowing the little that I know about like the AWA women's division. Like I've seen her wrestle Sherry Martel because I've been looking for Sherry Martel matches. I wish I knew more. But yeah, RIP.
Yeah, she was going through some hard times. She was had a lot of falls recently. She had suffered from a collapsed lung and seizures, and she died in hospice at 63 years old. Hey, thoughts and well wishes to Candy and the Devine family. Blessings to them. Any additional thoughts on? Should we watch anything you watched recently that we should watch with Candy Devine in it?
I think we should. Sherry? Yeah, go on YouTube and try to find a Sensational Sherry Candy Devine match. I was finding those just for Sensational Sherry, but Candy Devine, held up.
Let's all take a closer look at Candy Devine, because women's wrestlers in that time frame are oft overlooked. Moving on, we got our next slide here, Tam. The Rock is walking back some comments recently after Joe Rogan got in some trouble for false information about COVID, but like kind of just saying some things, not like having people on that bring on misinformation. He's just like, I'm just a person that's bringing on people and I'm asking questions, blah, blah, blah. And but Rock came to his defense just being like, it's just a podcast. He's just talking to people and he does have to be more responsible, something like that, blah, blah, blah. But then he's walking it back after Joe Rogan's recent racial slurs comments. And he's just like, did not hear that when I took back I apologize to anyone for saying that. And actually I have a picture of The Rock with Joe Rogan right here defending him. Well, how long before people dig up old Rockisms and put that in a compilation?
Did Rock? I mean, the thing that's like really challenging is that like we overlook a lot of what people said about women and how women were talked about and talked down to during the Attitude Era, and The Rock was right at the forefront of disrespecting women.
Disrespecting women. Homophobic, transphobic, racist. He went on a tear. Yeah. And there's clips of him talking to Kevin Kelly, him talking about China, him talking like there's some fucked
China.
I don't want to do the Trump voice.
Good point.
So we'll wait until that compilation comes out because it's going to be a doozy. Tam says, Tam's in the chat, is the title of this show inspired by Rock leaving wrestling? You calling him a loser? Be careful who you say that to, Tam. He'll beat you up. I'll beat this all up.
Tam, coming in hot.
Coming in hot, Tam. Joe writes, please keep cancel culture away from The Rock. National treasure right there. Rock needs to get checked.
Yeah,
everyone cancel culture. First thing is an amorphous term. I don't know if but either way, everyone needs to get checked, and everyone shall atone.
Yeah, The Rock. I think The Rock's a weirdo. Honestly, I'm like a little anti-Rock these days. There's only room in my heart for one wrestler turned very successful actor, and right now it's Batista, and will be for a really long time. I think John Cena's doing a fine job. He's doing whatever, but Batista, that's the national treasure right there.
Yeah. Oh, guy, Batista is the Rock dogs that we deserve.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Joe writes, plus his comments were as The Rock, the character, not the man. Roy, Joe, that only goes so far. Goes so far. Yeah. And honestly, check out his comments to John Cena in 2013. He didn't slow down, he didn't there's some rough stuff there too.
Yeah, I mean, Fruity Pebbles, all that stuff.
No, there was like a few comments that are, I'll tell you after the show.
Yeah, I'm curious.
But John Busman says how we talked about The Rock's propaganda machine. Yeah, and also he's a part of the deep state. Rock is deep state. The Rock is, if there is Illuminati, Rock's in it. We got some other talk here. How many presidents does NBC need to make? Joe says Peacemaker is great. Finale this week. Also, John Cena. Did you see his apology a while ago to the Chinese government?
Yeah.
Hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. So yeah, Batista's the one we all love. I think it's cool how rich, successful men always stick up for each other. Yeah, The Rock with Joe Rogan and such.
Yeah, bulky dudes got to stick up.
He walked that back. Rock walked that back once that came back. But we'll see. We love Batista. We're pro Batista. Let's see Batista become president. That's what I want.
Batista's too smart to run for president.
That's where he exited the second time. He just did this to the crowd. Very funny. Moving on. We got to hit the next slide there, Tam. This one is another political office talk.
Here we go.
The Great Khali, ever heard of him? He has joined the political party of India Prime Minister Modi, Prime Minister Modi of India. His party, it's a nationalist party, and there's talk about how it didn't handle COVID well. But I think Khali can handle COVID well. I think Khali has a lot of great ideas. Look at this distinguished gentleman.
That's a good job. I don't know if I've been waiting for a silly Khali picture, but that's a good one. That's a really good one.
That's a very serious Khali picture. Do we see the Great Khali being a prominent member? Because one of their other giant wrestlers that became prominent in political party, wasn't Giant Baba?
I believe Giant Baba was a politician, as was
Antonio Inoki is.
Yeah, big
but
time.
Maybe Giant Baba.
Baba was somewhat involved. Yeah.
Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah.
I think large men have big part to play in politics. What's your favorite Great Khali memory? What's your favorite Great Khali moment?
I honestly, because it was so bad that I really enjoyed this when he came out to help Jinder Mahal beat Randy Orton in the last Punjabi prison match, so Jinder Mahal could retain the WWE title. The match was so bad. Jinder Mahal, terrible title run. Khali showing up, got a pop out of me. I was into it, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." Jinder Mahal and Great Khali coming together, and then Great Khali never seen again. Completely disappeared.
One thing I will say, I didn't mind Jinder Mahal's title. I thought it was weird when he got it, but I also thought JBL's was weird when he got it. But JBL was the greatest champion in SmackDown history. That's a fact.
That's unbelievably untrue.
That's a fact.
I can't. He might not even be top 5.
Give me two above him.
Brock Lesnar, his first and second title run combined were both fantastic. Kurt Angle's title run.
JBL had the longest title run in SmackDown history.
So what? It was a big fart. It was the longest fart in SmackDown history.
It was great stuff. I don't like him as a person, but as a wrestling god and a prosecutor, excellent.
Prosecutor
in Wrestler's Court. No, honestly, that's a bad thing. He's a bad man for it. Real bad man for it. And I got one more piece of news here for you, Roy. One more piece of news.
Go for it.
This is the biggest one. And I think from all our deathmatch talk today, I think everyone could come on board. Roy, you were looking for a new PCO. Tam, could you hit that next slide? I think we found our next PCO. the next wrestler from the past to come back and really shake up wrestling with this new innovative gimmick. I'm talking the Death Daddy, Buff Bagwell. Buff Bagwell is coming back and he wants a death match. The Death Daddy wants a death match and he's ready. He's ready to take on all comers, light tubes, pitchforks, pizza cutter on ropes match. He wants it all. He wants it all. And a lot of people are giving him shit for it. People think that he's just kind of just trying to desperate to get matches. He's like, I'm not desperate. I just want to give back. So I'm going to be the Death Daddy. And he said Death Daddy. He's the one who said it, not me.
Man.
Are you into that? We're all into this, right?
I mean, how can I not be into this? You know, I'm into this in like the same way I'm into like Attitude Era hardcore matches where I'm like, this is terrible, but so fun. And that's how I feel about this.
Who knows though? Like PCO does it, and I'm sure Buff is in great shape. Buff's never lost the stuff.
Buff is probably in great shape, but Buff has also like gotten into like I feel like 2 to 4 motorcycle accidents over the last 10 years. He's gotten into some wrecks. So who knows?
Doesn't kill you, slowly kills you.
I'm into it.
Yeah,
why not?
Really, honestly, I want to see him versus any deathmatch person.
Yeah, Atticus Kogar.
I want him and Matt Cardona versus the Briscoes. There.
It would be great if he came in as like Matt Cardona's Tully Blanchard. Yeah. Yeah. But I agree. Got a little bit more involved, you know?
100%. We got some comments here. John Buston says, I think it's cool how Rich successful. Oh, no, we already said that. More comments about Buff stuff.
Yeah.
But he's doing this on the rebuilding tour, the rebuilding Buff, or what's it called? The rebuilding Buff tour.
That's a thing that's happening.
Yeah, he's doing a tour, a one-man tour. And
he's been through it. That guy, he's been through it. If you hear him on podcasts,
like a year ago.
You know, he shot his father when he was in high school because his father was beating up his mother, and he grabbed a gun and shot his father. And then his father like survived, and his father, like the cops came, and his father was like, "Get out of here, cops! I'm proud of you, son. You shot me. Good job." So, like, you know, he comes from a bit of a rough edged background.
That's heavy. That's heavy stuff.
He's been an exotic dancer. He was an exotic dancer before he was a wrestler too. So, you know,
he was a gigolo after he was a wrestler.
Yeah. I've never seen the Showtime show that he was on.
Oh, I have.
Was it good? Was he good on it?
That's hard. And John Buston says Cardona and Buff doing American Males 2.0.
That's such a good call.
That's
Scotty
awesome.
Riggs would be so upset.
There's a lot of potential with Death Daddy and the King of the Death match, Matt Cardona. But that is all the news I have for today. That is all the news. We made it through. We made it through the news. You okay? You having some trouble?
Yeah, there's a cord over here that I accidentally stepped on and it almost fell over. Look out.
Watch out.
Yeah, that's great. All right. So I think in the interest of time, because I didn't really have anything like heavy planned or we're just going to talk about like what we were watching. And
let's talk about what were you watching?
What are you? Yeah, because I don't have I was saving what would you book because I feel like if we do it every week, I'm going to run out of ideas really quickly. So it's taking a week.
No, break. I think that's smart. Let's freshen up. Let's have every show have a different thing. Kind of like how on American Gladiators, they didn't have the same events each week. You get bored of the big cotton swabs if you had it each time. You know, like you have to taper them off. Yeah. Different events. Yeah, no, I like that.
So Tam, if you want to just quickly jump to what are you watching?
I also want to
point out when this graphic has been pulled up, there's this very specific graphic that I find very funny, and I don't know if everyone can see it, but while we're waiting on that, Red, what are you watching?
Okay, so what I have been watching is wrestling wise, anything wise. Let's do anything wise.
Yeah, let's do anything.
Because I don't have a lot of because I watch a lot of wrestling with AEW. AEW is a lot of wrestling, but I have watched Death on the Nile. I saw that last night, and it was fine. I saw Jackass 4 ever, and Roy's going to see that tonight, so I won't give any spoilers. No spoilers. And I have been watching a lot of King of the Hill.
Oh,
not the early King of the Hill.
Okay.
I've seen the early King of the Hill over and over. And then when it gets to season 8, 9, I stop because I hate the show because they just changed the characters so much and everything. But I'm just like, I have to make it through. I have to power through. So I'm going through the more recent episodes, which are a little rough. Did you go through the entire show?
So that's funny you say that because I stopped right around that time too. I think I'm on like episode 4 or 5 of season 9. And it's harder because Peggy becomes much more unlikable as the show goes on. And I don't like that.
Peggy becomes more unlikable. Bobby becomes stupider. Bill becomes too much. Bill and Dale become too much.
Well, that's the other that I noticed, like right around that time too. I feel like Bill just keeps like, there was like a stretch of 4 or 5 episodes where he just kept getting very, very hurt. Like birds were attacking him.
Yeah.
He was being launched like from house to house. It's just like, where did this all come from? Yeah.
One character that starts to get better as the show progresses is Lucky. I actually do like Lucky. You know Lucky?
I don't think
Luann's hillbilly beau, like this guy that she likes. That's like,
I haven't.
He's got one snaggletooth. And like at first I hated him, but then I was just like, well, he's like kind of like the highlight. It's probably that season that he comes in.
Yeah.
Joe says King of the Hill is coming back. Same with Futurama. Yeah. Did you hear about the Futurama thing?
So I didn't totally. I know that it exists, but only because I actually saw on Twitter some sort of wrestling pundit say that if the original person who voices Bender doesn't come back, then it should be Eddie Kingston, which I think is really funny.
That's so dumb.
And I agree with. And he responded and he was like, yeah, I'm down. Sure.
That's very funny. They brought back Futurama already. They did the reboot and it wasn't good.
Was it just a movie or was it like a season?
No, they brought the show back
for
the dead. Yeah, just like Family Guy, they did it with Futurama and it was bad. It was honestly bad. I thought it was bad. And so like, I'm just like, why bring it back again? If you're going to bring back Futurama, why not just bring back that world and give us new characters? Yeah. It's the year 3000. Show us another part of the world in that time, or another group of people in Los Angeles, Montreal, it could be anywhere. You're just going back to the New York City with the same group of people. I don't really care.
Yeah, I also think King of the Hill, from what I've read, it's going to be like a modern day take on it, like adult Bobby, potentially.
Oh, interesting.
Which is pretty interesting. Yeah,
that is interesting. Oh yeah, I think there's going to do. I'm fine with the King of the Hill reboot if they do something like that. Yeah. John Busman writes, "God bless Lucky." Tom Petty voiced Lucky, which I didn't realize till rewatching last year.
That's really
that is news.
Yeah,
that's a
hot.
Scoop. That's an exclusive scoop. That's an exclusive scoop. And there's another exclusive scoop you could find on the hotline. Free hotline, 201-574-7222. What are you watching, Roy? What are you watching?
What am I watching? That's a good question. There's a YouTube channel that I really like and I recommend. It's wrestling related. We're jumping back to wrestling. There's a guy named Joseph Monticello. That is his name. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. I wrote it down. Montecello. Joseph Monticello. He does these incredibly well put together wrestling essays, and they're really, really good. And the thing is, he does a lot of his all-time favorite wrestler is Bryan Danielson. So he does a lot of good ones on Bryan Danielson and like the history of Bryan Danielson. He does a really good one on the history of Jon Moxley on the indies and the evolution of his character. And he uses a lot of footage. So you see a lot of his promos and stuff. And like, he's really excellent. He just put out another one a few days ago. He does a lot of stuff about All Japan Pro Wrestling from the 90s. And if you like talk to any wrestling purist, they'll say that that's the greatest wrestling ever. Like physical in-ring wrestling with Misawa and Kobashi and Kawada, all those guys mixed in with like Stan Hansen and Dr. Death and like Vader, all of these guys. But all of those matches are like 50 minutes at least. Some go over an hour, like they're really long matches. So it's hard for someone who's always on the go to sit down and really kind of take it in. So he breaks these matches down and will like go over why the match is so good and really kind of paint this beautiful picture using footage from the matches. I highly recommend it. King of the Hill. That's not right. Let me find out. Let me just, I got a computer in front of me.
That sounds great because that's actually the biggest issue for me with those, because I want to get into that time frame. I want to get into Japan in that time frame, but I feel like I need a lot more context. And if someone was to give me context with like some, I could more easily get into these matches.
So he does a bunch of different things. I'm going to actually, first time ever, I'm going to put the link in the YouTube chat. So if y'all want to check it out, definitely check it out. He's really fantastic. I believe he's in Thailand. He might be located in Thailand. And he does a bunch of different stuff, but he has a specific series called Walking the King's Road, which are all like 15 to at the most 30-minute episodes that he does himself. He edits, he does the voiceovers, he does everything. and it tells the story of everything. And it's like starts with like the old guard, and then it starts with like young boys, Masawa and Kobashi, and then slowly like changing the guard. It's really, really
very interesting. King's Road?
Walking the King's Road.
Interesting. Very interesting.
He just released episode 15. He also does these, I'm sorry. No. He does these like year in review, like the year's best wrestling. And he's done 90 and 91. And then he also has done 20 and 21 as well. 2020 and 2021, but he's done vintage ones as well that are really, really good. So he's definitely
Everyone check that out. And also when you go there and you leave comments, talk about Loser Leaves Wrestling. Let him know we're here promoting him.
Yeah. This is
Loser Leaves Wrestling sent.
Yeah. Tell him LLW sent you. This is another Eddie Kingston recommend. I found this because Eddie Kingston found this guy, and this is a big inspiration for him is the King's Road and Kobashi and Masawa, all those guys. So yeah, as far as non-wrestling goes, there's a new season of RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm into it.
I have to get back in. I fell off in season All-Star season 3 or 2.
I think you'll really like this newest season. There is one specific drag queen that I think you'll really love. Willow Pill. I'm all about her.
Oh, I already love the name.
She's such a cool. It's
everyone watch that because drag is wrestling.
Wrestling's
drag
really
and drag is wrestling. Get over it.
100%.
Get over it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Awesome. Wow. What a fun. What would you want?
Also, real quick, can you just take a look at there's this image in the bottom right corner of this graphic with The Rock staring at Kurt Angle on a television screen that I can't. I've been waiting for you to see that, and you've never seen it. I just had to point it out because I think it's so funny.
What is who's watching SpongeBob?
That's Moxley as Dean Ambrose. Fun. Yeah, and then
funny.
Bret Hart just watching the British Bulldog and Owen Hart.
That's very funny. Very good. Very good illustrative work. Very good illustrative work. The Rock with the SmackDown. Oh, it's like The Rock, like David Letterman, a late show with David Letterman. The Rock played the SmackDown. Very good. Very good shirt, Rock. Very good shirt.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any other segments that we got planned today?
So we were originally going to do receipts, but I don't think we have any receipts this week. So
I think we have to do the championship though.
Yeah, the championship is the last one. So Tam, if you want to skip over to the first championship, first we're going to talk about the world champion, the LLW world champion. Now it's important that we define this for the audience, right? The LLW world champion is just the performance that we liked the most for the week of wrestling.
Overall, like best performer.
Best performer. And it's a controversial pick because there's a lot of people to choose from this week. But Tam, if you want to jump to that first championship slide.
Here he has it up.
After a lot of debate, we have selected Santana of Santana
wins.
Red, do you want to get into why we chose Santana?
Santana was the most captivating character on TV this week. Like the thing is, like he did great against Jericho. He grabbed Jericho by the neck, which you don't see that type of interaction a lot. And then when Jericho was spouting off some bullshit about the January 6th, Santana just looks at the camera and just starts smiling and winking, laughing at everything Jericho was saying. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Definitely the most interesting person to watch this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Keith Lee was neck and neck. It was neck and neck, but ultimately. And then you may say to yourself, well, hold on a second. Somebody on that show gave buckets of blood to satisfy the audience. Don't they get recognition? You're right. They do. They're going to be the LLW North Jersey champion of the week. So Tam, if you want to go to the next slide, we can talk about the workhorse of the week, the workhorse champion. The secondary title is the workhorse title. And we both know who that's going to be. It's Hangman Adam Page.
And he deserves it. Boy, did he do a good job this week. That match with Lance Archer made me feel better about him as a champion. It was a very hard hit match. And I can't wait for him to continue. I love that. That's just the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, it's classic.
I do like his cowboy cow pants, his cow print pants. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. I tried to find the image of him bleeding to illustrate how hard he worked. I'm still working on these graphics. It's a work in progress.
He's doing great. Everyone give him a hand. Everyone give Roy a clap, a squirt. But wow, what fun we had today. And now he's our new champion. Oh my God.
He dethroned CM Punk. Bless you. He dethroned CM Punk. CM Punk was our first heavyweight champion. And now it is Santana, and we didn't crown a North Jersey champ last week, so he's the first ever, the inaugural North Jersey. Nah, I think we maybe made a deal.
I'm gonna start going back into these things and look. I think we have them, but
now it's officially Hangman.
But thank you all so much for watching. This has been the Weekly Wrestle, Volume 12. This is Loser Leaves Wrestling. Call the hotline 201-574-7222. Follow us on all the things. Loser Leaves Wrestling on everything now.
I'm working on that Twitter.
We're working on Twitter, but follow it now. Follow it now. Yeah. There's no graphic. There's no way for you to know it's us except that says Loser Leaves Wrestling. It's at Loser Leaves Wrestling on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of it. You should go find us and listen to the podcast. Let us know how the podcast is doing. Give us your thoughts. And listen to us on the go, because I know some of you are, and I'm so sorry to those who listening on podcasts and not seeing all the fun. But also, I feel bad for all the people on YouTube that get all distracted by our flailing arms and then just don't get our docile tones, which is part of the fun of the podcast. You get a little bit of the best of both worlds. But thank you all so much. Anything else we got a show this Wednesday.
You got a show Wednesday.
Come check us out on Dynamite. Right after Dynamite, we're going to be talking about it. But thank you all so much. Red Gear Tooth Jefferson, and I'm here with Roy Toy Boy Hammer. Thank you all so much. Have a great one. Bye. 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 Bye.
Ole. 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 Ole.